I remember several years ago, there was a wealthy man who gave a certain amount of zakat. And he said, I want you to do food hampers in a certain place for the poor people. And so the people in that place arranged it. They got X amount of hampers for exactly the amount of money this brother had given. And they invited 5,000 poor people to come to collect it from the depot. Because it's a large amount. It's a big hamper. And when these people came, there was a scholar who said, all these people who've come, how did they come? They came with public transport. How much did they pay? They paid in that country a few dollars, $2, $3, depending on where they came from. And what have they come to do? They've come to collect zakat in the form of hampers. And how will they go back? They will go back with public transport. And how much will they pay? They're going to pay $2 to $3 again to go back. Which means the rich man has asked the poor man to pay $5 to $10 to come and help him fulfill a pillar of Islam. He should be ashamed. And I'm listening to the scholar and I'm thinking, I never thought of it that way. Why should the poor man spend his money to come to you to collect something to fulfill your pillar of Islam and pay again to go back just because it's food and he needs it? You are supposed to go all the way to him, look for him, find him, give him, thank Allah that you found him. And he's not supposed to incur a single penny to fulfill a rich man's zakat. تُؤْخَذُ مِنْ أَغْنِيَائِهِمْ فَتُرَدُّ فِي فُقَرَائِهِمْ. The hadith of Mu'adh ibn Jabal and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhuma, where the Prophet ﷺ speaks about, especially in the hadith of Mu'adh, he speaks about how wealth or zakat is to take from the rich and to give the poor. In this case, we are taking from the rich, but we're also incurring an expense on the poor. So I made it my business to ask some of those poor people, how did you pay for the public transport? Guess what? Guess what was one of the worst answers I heard? I took a loan, listen, from someone living in our neighborhood, and I told them when I come back, I'll sell some of what I brought, what I got, and I'll pay you back your money. And I'm thinking to myself, that means we actually ate into that person's zakat just for the transport. And this is why from that day I always tell people, if you know what I said now and you think about it carefully, and you are a person giving zakat, when you give your zakat, say for example you owe £100, give the 100 and put another 10 with it and say this 10 is towards any expense that you might incur to fulfill my 100. How's that? How's that? Is it not fair? If you understand my story, you will never ever do less than that. And I've seen it with my eyes. You won't know it because if you haven't been on the ground, or you haven't thought about it, or you didn't have a scholar who was conscious of it remind you that, hang on, this is what it is. From that day, I became so conscious of so many factors that when I enter a masjid and I've read salah in the masjid, I try my best to put a pound as I'm walking out, or $1 or 50 cents or whatever I might be able to do, because there was electricity used, I benefited from it. There were carpets that were cleaned, I benefited from it. There was sound, their salaries, their payments, their rates, their council taxes, so many other things. And I'm a wealthy person if I am, and subhanallah, I used the facility and never ever paid for it. Someone else is paying for me to come and fulfill salah in the masjid, the lights and everything. Someone else paid the bills. So many of us come into the masjid and we never ever think of putting a single penny into the box because we think, where's it going to go? How will they justify it? Brother, they used it on you, man. On you. How much do you want to pay for one prayer? What do you think it costs for you to come and make one prayer here? Let's not look at the value of it because it's priceless, but let's look at the exact cost of it. Value is one thing, it's priceless. Because one salah you can put £1 billion, I'll tell you it's more, right? But the cost of it, I'm sure it's 50p to £1 per prayer that they've used on you. You came and you used the facility, you came around, you parked your car. We never charged you parking, my brother. I mean, depending on the masjid, obviously. Sometimes you might even get a fine if you park in the wrong place. But nonetheless, are you getting the point I'm saying? Now, going back to the first sentence I said that we have problems across the globe, we have issues in our own lives. When you want ease in your own issues, try to think about those who have bigger issues than you and reach out to them, and Allah will create ease in your own issues. That's the point.